In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a casement window family with the window shown in open position in plan view. Hi, I'm Pisan. If you are a student or architect who's looking to learn or have a better understanding of how to use Revit, I hope that you find this video helpful. So let's get started. So as always, we're going to start with selecting an appropriate template for it. So under families, we go to new. And it's going to be a casement window. So we're going to still use the window as the template for us. Open. So making family for the casement window is going to be the same as double single hung that we did earlier, but a lot simpler. So first step is we're just going to move things away to make some room for us to work later. And here we have a reference plane in the center of a host. So I'm going to extend that outside of the host so that later on I can reference it. Now we're going to pin that back, and we will be adding two more reference planes, one to the outside and one to the inside. We're now going to align and lock them to the surface of the host. And since I might be referencing them later, I'm going to name those references. This one I'm calling it exterior, and this one I'm calling it interior. Before we continue, let's go ahead and save the project. And again, if you save it for the first time, you'll be saving it as you're going to browse to the location where you save all your families. Mine is here. And I'm going to call this one WN Casement. Actually underscore single dash casement. Save. Now we're ready to build our first geometry. So we're going to be in exterior view, and the profile will be the same as all other windows. Okay, we are going to use sweep this time because we don't have the center divider like what we had earlier with the single hung, with the double single hung. So create, sweep, and then sketch path. Before we sketch the path, let's select the work plane, and we want this profile, the profile of the window frame, to align with the surface of the exterior surface of the host. So we're going to pick exterior for the reference plane this time. Okay, and then we're going to OK out of it. I will use rectangle for this. It's as simple as, and then align and lock it to the reference planes. This one is the top reference plane. This one is the silt reference plane. And I think this is the left reference plane. And then right reference plane. Make sure you lock them all. Now that you're done with the sketch plane, you have already selected the work plane. You can just confirm. Okay, and take note of this. Okay, I need to be on the left or on the right to be able to see this sketch plane for the profile. So I'm going to OK out of it, and then I'm going to be on the right. Okay, and then edit profile. Okay, so this is the exterior side of the wall. This is the interior side of the wall. I know because that dot's supposed to align with the exterior reference plane. Okay, so we're going to come down from this red dot 1/2 inch over 1 3/4 inch, so 1.75 inch, down 3/4 inch, and over 1.75 inch, and then back again. And I don't want these dimensions to change, so I'm going to dimension them. I'm using the reference plane that came with the profile, with the sketch profile. Okay, I'm locking it. Okay, and I'll do the same over here. This is the reference plane that came with the sketch profile again. Okay, Let me pull it up. All right, and then lock it. Okay, now we're done with the profile of the window frame. We can just confirm that we're done with the profile and confirm one more time that we're done with the geometry. So let's see what we have. So we're looking at it from the interior. If I orbit, that's the exterior. So this is what we have. Let me turn the thin line mode. That's what we have. So you have this surface, that half-inch surface there, aligning with the surface of the exterior surface of the hose. All right, let's see what it looks like from the reference view. That's what we have. All right, now let's go back to the exterior and build the window sash. Okay, so create geometry, rectangle again. I want, again, this window sash is still going to align with the exterior surface of the hose. So the work plane for this one is still going to be the exterior. So that's good. We're going to OK out of it and align and lock. And this time, since I don't have any reference plane, I'm going to align and lock it with the geometry. So AL, I'm selecting this geometry here. Oops, wrong. So I'm going to escape out. AL here to there. I think I forgot to lock the first two, so I'm just going to go back and check. Okay, let's see. Did I lock this one? I did not. So let me move it out. Okay, and redo. All right, I think I locked all four. Let me verify. All fours are locked. Okay, so I am. Oops, I'm not ready to confirm yet because I need to create an opening inside of the window. Later on, we will install glass. So rectangle again, and a closed loop within a closed loop that will give you an opening. And then I'm going to dimension it. Okay. I want to make sure that I get the sketch line. So I'm slowing down at this process. I'm going to tap until I see the sketch. Yep. Got it. Now let's do the same for the rest. All right. Okay, I don't see the tooltip, but I know that's the only one that's left. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to change the dimension to the dimensions to 2 inches. I guess I could have used a rectangle with a built-in offset, but oh well. Hello, what did I do? That dimension is locked. Okay, let me change that to 2 inches. There's something wrong with this. For some reason, I cannot move this line. This line is giving me a problem. Instead of trying to figure out what it is, I'm just going to redraw it. Okay, and then dimension, and then I will dimension it to the sketch line. That should be it. That's the only thing that's left. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, change that to 2 inches. Okay, now I'm going to lock them all. And before we can confirm and get out, we need to set the thickness. So the reference plane is exterior, and that's where I want my extrusion to start. So the extrusion start can be at 0, and the extrusion end, since I want this the thickness of this window sash to be 3 1/4 inch, I need to set this to negative 1.75 inch. Okay, and then we can confirm we're done. Okay, let's change this to hidden line so that it's a little bit more realistic. Okay, now in 3D view, okay, that's the window sash and that's the window frame. All right, so let's see what we have on the top view. Okay, window sash, window frame. Let's save our work. Now, I think we've gone a little bit too far without flexing it, so let's be in the exterior view and try to flex this. So I'm gonna flex this window, change that to 2. Actually, before I do that, let me move the width, cancel, 2 feet. Let me move the width up, okay? So I'm gonna make it 2 feet by 6 feet here. Okay, then how about 8 feet and 2 feet over here? Okay, looks good. Okay, now we are ready to build the glass. So create extrusion. Okay, I'm going to use the rectangle this time. I'm going to draw it a little bit smaller, and it's going to be inside of the opening. Okay, and then again, as always, we will use align and lock. We're going to lock it to the inside edges of the sash, the window sash. Okay, we need to verify the work plane, which I want the work plane, well, the only work plane that we can use right now is, that makes sense, is the exterior work planes. That's what it is, so okay out of it. All right, the glass is 1/2 inch thick. I want the glass to offset away from the exterior work plane, or the exterior surface of the window sash 1/2 inch. Okay, so the start of the extrusion will be -0.5 inch. Okay, and I want the glass to be 1 inch thick, so the end of the extrusion need to be a -1 inch. Okay, then you can apply, then okay, you're done with the glass. So let's see what it looks like on the outside. Okay, so now you have a solid geometry within the void of the window sash. We just need to change the material to glass. Okay, we're going to type glass there, and then on the list select, and then okay out of it. Now you can see through it. Okay, so if we go to thin line mode, that's what you see. Okay, so it is 1/2 inch offset from the exterior surface of the window sash, and then it is 1/2 inch thick. Okay, so for the geometry portion of it, we're done. Now we're ready to move on to the symbolic line portion of it. But before we can do that, let's go ahead and close our inactive views and open up a project file. Okay, new project. It doesn't matter which template you use, so I'm just going to go okay out of it. Wall, you're going to place 2 walls of 2 different thicknesses. And then we're going to go back to our family file, load it into project to test it out there. I'm going to place one there, place one there, and see what it looks like. Okay, for this one, we can only flip it, you know, from interior and exterior. Okay, but since it is a casement, we have hinge side and a latch side, so we want to be able to flip it laterally as well. Okay, so to do that, we're going to be adding more control. All right, so go back to the family. Okay, from the reference level, create control. We're going to add double horizontal. Okay, we're just going to place it right here, right next to this one here, and then load it back into the project. Override existing. Okay, now you have one additional control. You can flip it. Okay, you don't see any difference right now because we don't have the symbolic line that it's showing the window in its open position. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the family file, exterior view. Now in this view, we want to show the hinge side of the window, and usually we do that by that triangle symbol. Okay, I'm pretty sure you all have seen it before. So before we do that, I'm going to add a reference plane. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Okay, RP. Okay, I'm going to add a reference plane, and it's going to be in the middle between the top reference and the silt reference. So I'm going to equalize that. Now we're looking at it from the exterior view, and if the hinge is on the left hand side, okay, the triangle will point toward that direction. So I will draw a line using annotate symbolic line, and then the line that I am going to use will be it needs to be a hidden line. So let's see which one is hidden. Oh, there, hidden line projection. Okay, so I'm going to lock it with the intersection here. I think endpoint would work also. Okay, and midpoint there, and then lock it to the endpoint there. So basically we're locking it to the endpoint of the window sash on the top and on the bottom, and then in the midpoint of the window sash on the hinge side. Okay, now I'm not sure if it's gonna work yet, okay, or I need to place any kind of constraint to this. So I'm going to flex this. I'm gonna make this a 2. I'm gonna make this a 6. Okay, looks like it is working. We didn't have to do anything much to it. Let's make this a 3 and make this a 6. All right, it's good. Now, if I load this into a project, okay, override existing, and let me flip this one back so that we can see it from the south elevation. We should be able to see that symbolic line now. And if I click on this and I hit space bar on my keyboard, I should be able to see it flip. Okay, we have 4 options since we have the control for up, down, and left, right. Okay, so hopefully you can see it. I know it's blue, and it's, you know, it's highlighted in blue also. Now let's get back to the project file. So let me close our inactive views. This is our project, I'm sorry, the family file. We're going to be in reference level, and I will just get rid of the thing that I don't need to reference to. Okay, so I'm going to select everything that I don't need. HH out of, you know, HH it out. HH. I don't need to see the window sash either. Okay, there you go, HH. All right, now I'm going to use annotate symbolic line, and this will be frame cut, frame mullion cut, and use a draw line. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. The line looks thinner because I am in thin line mode. Okay, later I will change it back. Okay, and then align and lock. Okay, load it into project. Override existing version. Let's see. Let's look at the level 1. Let's see what it looks like. Let me up the scale so we can see easier. Half an inch. Okay, looks like we're good here. Okay, so close our inactive views. We're going to do the same on the other side. Annotate symbolic lines. Same window frame mullion line, and we're going to sketch the line again. Lock. Okay, let me flex to make sure that it moves with the profile of the geometry. Okay, so I'm going to flex this. Right now the width is 6. I'm going to change it to 3. Height doesn't matter, so I'm going to leave it as that. Looks like it is working. Load it into project. Override existing. All right, looks like we have the line weight now. Let me flex the width of this one also. Oops, before I can do that, I need to select the window family and then change that to 5. Okay, it is working. The next thing to do is to make sure that we cannot see the window here. Okay, so back to the family file. Okay, I'm going to reset all of the temporary, and I will just turn off the glass and the window sash. Okay, so I'm going to control select both and then control them both at the same time. So under visibility graphics, I want to uncheck plan and RCP, and also uncheck when cut in plan and RCP. Okay, all right, it should turn gray. All right, now if we load it back, we should not be able to see it. Let's get back to the family file. I don't remember which side is the hinge side right now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the exterior view. Okay, the hinge side is toward the right reference plane. So on the reference level, the right reference plane is this one here. So that's the pivot point, and the window will swing that way. Okay, so I'm going to take a different approach here compared to the door. With the door, I made the swing adjustable, but in window family or in the graphic symbol that we use for window in plan view, we never show them in full 90-degree open. We usually show it in, you know, somewhere between 15 and 45 degree. So I'm going to be somewhere in the middle. I'm going to show it fixed at 30 degree. So in preparation for that, I'm going to hide again the hose. I don't need to see that. Okay, it's just going to be in the way. HH. And I'm also going to hide the window. Okay, because I don't need to see it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to hide the window frame also. But I do want to see, I think I do want to see the symbolic line. So I'm going to filter out and leave only the symbolic line, which should be this one here. So, oops, the other way around. All right, and then I can HH on my keyboard. Huh, not doing it right. Filter. Okay, and then HH. Huh, it doesn't do that. I guess I have to do it one by one. HH. HH, HH. Okay, now let's show that window in open position. So we're going to go to annotate, symbolic line, save our work. And this time we're going to use window cut. We're going to start here. That's the pivot point, right now. Okay, and we're going to have it open at 30 degree, which should be 150 on the right side. So 150. There we go. Okay, and the thickness of the window is 1 3/4 inch, so 1.75 inch. Okay, we're gonna come back and then annotate, symbolic line, make sure that is perpendicular. Okay, and then we can just trim extend to clean it up. Okay, so the only thing that we need to make sure that it's fixed is that we need to make sure that the end of this line is fixed to that point there. Okay, and the end of that line is fixed to that point there. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm not going to constrain it yet, okay? Because sometimes it just works, okay? But we need to control how wide this window is, and that should be whatever the width of the window is, okay, minus half an inch, right? Because I'm sorry, minus 1 inch, because we have half an inch there and then half an inch there. Okay, so we're gonna have to use formula for that. So let me see what is the width right now. The width is set to 3. So I'm going to create another parameter. Okay, so select this parameter and I'm going to call it net width. Okay, and it's going to be a type parameter, and everything else we can leave it as default and okay out of it. Okay, under family types, for the net parameter, let me copy this. For the net parameter, we're going to use width minus 1 inch. Okay, and then okay out of it. Okay, it's giving me this problem, right? But that's okay. I'm just going to cancel out, keep the parameter. Okay, I'm going to let me delete this. Okay, I know that the width is, actually I forgot what the width is. The width is 3 feet, okay? So I'm going to set this. This is all I have to do, okay? We're going to have to make this, since we're just going to have to make this 2 feet and 11 inches. Okay, that's what we want, right? And then later on, we can turn that into the net width. Oops. And then we just, and then we can go back to properties and then apply the formula to the net width. Okay, so minus 1 inch. Okay, and then later on, we just gonna apply net width to it. Okay, so when we're dealing with angle, okay, the order in which you place things, in which you place the line or constraint matters. Okay, so let's see, let's flex this. All right, I'm gonna change the width to 4. Okay, looks good, but I'm sensing that the angle is changing. Okay, so let me change this to 2. I think it is changing because it's holding this line here. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go back to 3. Okay, and then okay out of it. Then I'm going to pull dimension for the angle, okay, from the exterior reference plane to this backside of the window, okay, and I'm going to lock it. Okay, before I flex it again, I also want to dimension these 2 lines, okay, and lock it as well. Now let's flex it. Flex this to 6. Okay, looks like it's working. Okay, I realized also, let me just okay out of it. I also realized that I forgot to draw this symbolic line here. Okay, the projection line for the silt. Okay, so annotate symbolic line, window frame projection. Okay, frame mullion projection, that's what we're going to use. Okay, and it's going to start from this line here to there. That's okay, I'm going to ignore that. Okay, and then load it into project. Okay, we're not going to save that. All right, let's flex this. So width, we're going to make it 2. and then 3, and then 4. Now let's show the swing. So back to the family file. Okay, for the swing we're gonna use annotate, symbolic line, and there should be something called swing. There you go. Elevation. Why does it call elevation? Let's see. Okay, that's all we have. So I'm going to use elevation, swing, projection, and we're going to use center in arc for that. Select the center point of the arc, which is the pivot point. Okay, then we can change the line type later. I can see that it's not the right one. Okay, to there, and then we're going to pull it back and have it attach to this end here. Okay, so if there's a padlock, which it is, and it's showing it as lock position right now, so we should not have to do anything. Okay, so I'm going to click modify to get out of it, but I'm going to just change the line type of this one. I'm going to pick the best one. Plan swing. I'm sorry, I missed this one. Okay, we should use plan swing projection, and then load it back into project. Override existing version. Now let's flex. Before we can do that, we need to select the window and then flex. Change that to 6. How about 2? Okay, looks like it is working. Okay, let's see. Let's just close all inactive views. I want to open 3D view and then exterior view, which is I'm going to use that, and then WT ZA. Okay, so I want to see this one, and this one here. I'm going to pan up a little bit. So flex, make this a little bit smaller. I'm going to place it right here. Cancel. Flex, make that 6, 3. Looks like it's working. 2, 8. Looks like it's working. All right. Normal size now. 3, 4. It is working. So we're done with the casement window. Okay, so let me TW this. Okay, and then close all inactive views, zoom extend. Let me flex it here one more time. Looks good. How about the exterior view? Looks good. Can I flip it? Let me go back here on here. So this is why we need to have the left right swing, because we want to be able to switch between left hinge and right hinge. Okay, and then we can flip it this way. Looks good. All right, I think at this point we're done with the casement window family. Let me change this back to a normal size. 3 and 4. Okay, save.